870 WHCU is brought to you by Black Box Computer Consulting. They know what's inside.
News Talk 870, WHCU News Time, 8:16. Jeff Dunn for Dave Fieser on the WHCU Morning News Watch. It's a Tuesday morning, and my pleasure to join me on the news line this morning, Congressman Michael Arcuri, who, of course, is back home in his district as he seeks re-election to the 24th Congressional District seat. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, except for a little bit of the light rain, but I know you've got the same thing up in the Utica area today.
Yeah, we do.
I want to ask you a little bit about, before I get to the campaign and what you're doing now that you're back in the district, I want to go back to the adjourning the session last week. Sort of an interesting, because of the House rules, you were leading the floor debate, and thus you submitted or sponsored the resolution to dismiss or adjourn the session, and Mr. Boehner, the minority leader, got up and objected to that, and then you said, yeah, I object to that too. We shouldn't be closing the session because we've got lots of work to do. Can you kind of explain how that all developed?
Well, I was managing the floor debate,
right,
so I had to call up the rule. I mean, I was controlling the time, so I called it up really as a matter of procedure, and it just happened to be because I was managing the rule on the bill to currency manipulation bill, and on there was also doing the 9/11 bill. So I called it up, but I didn't vote for the adjournment because I generally don't vote yes on adjournments. I generally vote no on adjournments. I feel that if there's more business to do, that we should be prepared to do the business. So generally, as a rule, I vote no on adjournments, which is really odd because I had voted on the earlier adjournment. I voted no also. The Republicans made a motion to adjourn earlier on, and I voted no on that. I mean, minutes just before. So it was really, a lot of it was just procedural things that were going back and forth at that time.
Well, one of those items of unfinished business that was the the crux of this issue from last week in terms of adjourning was extending tax cuts. And
right.
This is likely to be an issue that the Congress will take up in lame duck session after the election.
Yeah, I think it will, and I think it should be as well. And that was one of the reasons, again, that I voted no. I mean, I think we could have voted on it before we left and resolved it, but it wasn't to be. But we definitely will do it when we get back. And my sense of that is this. I want to extend the tax cuts for the middle class. I mean, without a doubt, that's absolutely critical to us. And my thinking is this. I've been reading a lot from economists on both sides of the aisle who say, hey, look, we're starting to turn the corner. The recession is beginning to end. We're beginning to come out of it. And one of the things that can help us to continue to come out of it is extending the tax credits for the wealthy Americans. And that's because the idea is that they will take the tax credit and continue to invest it. Now, again, some people go back and forth on that, but I think we can't take a chance. It's all about the economy, and it's all about the recovery. And if we really believe that is going to in some way help us to get out of this recession, I think we should extend it. I'm talking about extending it for maybe a year, maybe 2 years at the farthest out.
Yeah, and as you alluded to, that sort of runs counter with many in the Democratic Party who feel that perhaps extending the Bush-era tax cuts for the upper class and the rich is not appropriate.
Well, in my sense, it's not about the wealthy. It's not about how much you earn. It's about our getting out of the recession, and that's what I keep saying. Hey, look, I'm not saying that they can't afford to help out. Yeah, they should be doing more. There's no doubt about it. But it's about the fact that, hey, is this going to help us get out of a recession quicker? And if it is going to help us get out of a recession quicker, then we absolutely should do it. Again, it's not about, saying who can afford to pay more. It's about us getting out of the recession. And I think that this could continue to help us to recover.
All right, let's talk about the last 4 weeks of the campaign. You're back now in the district, going around, meeting with people, speaking to groups. What is the dominant issue that you're hearing from constituents as you get ready for Election Day?
Well, it all depends on where in the district you are and who you're talking to. I mean, I talk to seniors. It's about Social Security. They want to make sure that we don't privatize Social Security, and that I'm fighting continually to make sure that their benefits are continued. So that's a big issue. In the southern part of the district, in the Tompkins County area, Portland area, Otsego area, it's all about hydraulic fracking. People want to make sure they're happy with my position on hydraulic fracking. They're happy with the fact that I've legislation to keep oil companies in check with respect to their drilling for natural gas or for oil. So that's a very big part of it. And then throughout the district, the issue that's big is obviously jobs and the economy, and I talk about that all the time. And the one thing that I'm proudest of, Jeff, is that I listen. I mean, I think one of the things that I've done is I've gone around the district. People see me all the time in the district, and I listen to what they have to say. And I think that's one of the things that is going to be very important for the future. People need to know that the person that they're electing to Congress is somebody that they see, somebody who's willing to listen, and somebody who comes around who's a neighbor, who they see all the time. And frankly, I think that's going to be one of the big differences between my opponent and myself.
Well, as you well know, this was one of the closest, if not the closest, congressional race 2 years ago. And I'm curious as to how you have changed your approach in this campaign, if anything, from 2008.
You know, I don't know that I've changed a lot. I think I've just continued with the message. I think, you know, one of the things that, you know, I think is pretty obvious is that 2 years ago, my opponent ran negative ads all the way through. And I didn't run any negative ads. I just kept a positive campaign and, you know, just talked about issues. And this time, you know, I didn't run any negative ads until he did. And then I decided, well, you know, I think that if he's going to do it, then I'm going to have to do it as well. And it's unfortunate because I think it detracts from the campaign. But what I've done is talked about the future, talked about vision, talked about ideas, talk about what my plan is for the future and how I think I can help, how we have created jobs and how we'll continue to create jobs. Now, if you listen to my opponent, all he ever talks about is what's wrong, this is a problem. Hey, we all know we have problems. We know the economy is tough. We know there are a lot of issues. But what is absolutely critical is what are we going to do to change it? And I think therein is the huge difference between him and myself. And that's what I've been stressing on the campaign. Here's our vision for the future. Here's our ideas. You know, and I think his campaign has been pretty much devoid of any vision or ideas for the future. And that's all we have talked about.
Well, your opponent, Richard Hanna, aside, though, have you felt at all this anti-incumbent fervor?
I think, yeah. I mean, you know, clearly people are concerned. I think that there's a real feeling out there of people are not happy with the status quo. I think that's common. You know, when the economy is bad, when things are tough, people are always looking, hey, are our representatives doing everything they can? And I welcome that. Actually, I really welcome the serious, the hard look. But again, what I think it comes down to is who has done the most and who has the best ideas for the future. I mean, who have you seen come around? Who has listened to you? And I think when all is said and done on election day, people are going to look at it and say, you know, Congressman Arcuri has been there for us. He's listened to us. He has ideas for the future, and he's the person we want to vote for.
I want to leave you with one piece of good news that you got for your campaign this week, and that was the ruling on the independent ballot line. This was something that Mr. Hanna had challenged, the so-called moderates line, and this gives you now 2 lines on the November ballot, and I believe he's on 3 lines. How important was it to win that challenge and come out with the 2 lines?
Well, I think it was very important. I think, you know, some people like an alternative, like to have the ability to vote on another line. And I think one of the things that, you know, we were troubled by was all that went on with the independence line. I mean, you know, the people in the Independence Party were supporting me. The county chairs throughout the district of the Independence Party were supporting me. But as a result of, some inside politics, Mr. Hanna was able to get the line. So we felt that, hey, look, people need an alternative. People need to be able to know that, you know, the people, in the end, it's all about grassroots support, and it's about the people, and that's what getting this extra line. You know, we needed 3,500 signatures. We got about 7,200 signatures for the line. So we felt that it was the right thing to do, and we're very happy with the court ruling.
He is Congressman Michael Arcuri, seeking re-election to the 24th Congressional District seat. Election day 4 weeks from today. Congressman, thanks again for joining us this morning.
All right, Jeff. You have a great day.